Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. And today we got a new project, and I'm not sure if you can see it from there, but this is a I-beam axle from a 1934 American Austin. Now that's not a British Austin, that's American. These folks completely stripped it down, took it down to nothing, and are now putting it back together. And of course there's a bunch of worn out parts, and today we're going to recut the okay, and I can't remember what the is, the kingpin on the axle itself, because the kingpin hole has gotten worn, and the whole kingpin just kind of drops out a little bit. Now they replaced the kingpin bushings, but they didn't replace the actual I-beam pivot itself. So we have to go in, bore out the pivot, make a sleeve, press the sleeve in, and then bore the pivot out again to fit the pin. And where is that pin? It's around there somewhere. I know it is. Looks like about, half inch. So I don't think you got a good photo or a good picture of what this axle looks like. Here's the kingpin hole, and these are for the shackles. And the axle comes down and goes across, it might be 3 feet long, and then comes back up in here. And this is where we're going to bore our hole and reset a new sleeve in there. So, and we brought it over. We're kind of sticking way out in the air out there, and so I brought in a toe clamp and clamped it down, give us a nice good solid connection there. Thought it was a good idea to go ahead and show you how much slop is in this thing just sitting here, and it's pretty sloppy. Now, of course, once you press it down in, it's tighter, but as soon as you put some weight on it, and this, I'm sure this car has got a little bit of weight to put on, all of this is going to come into play and start moving around. Let's go over to the other side and have a look at that. And this one is loose all the way down, and it's a little tighter, but the fact that it's loose means that it's, it's supposed to be a press fit. And this is pretty much a slide fit right there. So we're going to go ahead and machine these out and redo them. Okay, let's take her on down and see what we've got. Okay, so we're got it down to where we got about 30 thousandths on each side of that pin, and I think that's going to be enough without making this side too weak. So now what we'll do is go over to the lathe. Once this is cut, we'll go over to the lathe and make ourselves a pin and put a hole in it, and then we have to come back in and bore the hole out. Okay, that was about a 2/1000 cut, so a nice finished cut, and that gives us what we're going to need here. That gives us, I'd say, 30-40 thousandths on each side of that pin. That's gonna give us the strength and still maintain the strength here for the kingpin. let's see if this is going to do it. No, that's too small. There we go. There we go. Check it with our micrometer. So we are at 553. Let's do one more check, and this time we'll do it from up above. And 554. And maybe 3/10. Let's try it again. $554 even on that one. Well, a little under 554, 553 and 3/4. Oh no, 553 and a half. Of course, we might be pounding that thing down. Let's try it one more time. $554.5, actually, and 3/10. So that takes us back to that original. Let's try it one more time. $54.5. All right, so $554.5. Let me write that down. Okay, we're working with a 1-inch piece of 4140. I wanted to start with something a little bit smaller, but you know, it's all I have, so why not use it? First thing we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole through this, certainly not to size, but close to size, and then we'll work on the outside surface. So let's crank this baby up and start drilling. A hot drill bit for one, and we've got 3 inches drilled. Now what we need to do is come in and clean up the outside edge. I think I want to just take this up just to another step or two in the hole size before we actually go in there and bore this out. Okay, so we're working with a 1/2 inch pin, and so I've come in probably 20 or so thousandths smaller than a 1/2 inch. Okay, let's come back in, take a measurement. We're still at 725, so let's see what we've got. 727 even, and this side is 727, 27 and a half. Doesn't seem right. 727 even. Oh, yeah, no, okay, misread it. We're at 5. So 732 and 727. So we got 5 thousandths difference in our, which side is bigger? This side is bigger, so we need to come toward me 2.5 thousandths. Okay, the next step in this operation is we're going to put new kingpin bushings in, and you'll see that there's just a little bit of a brass sleeve in there, and so I just turned down a bolt head and so it would fit, and then we just go ahead and crank it down under the press. Oops, hang on. There we go. Now just press the little brass bushings out, and we're gonna put new bushings in. Now the problem is that this is a 1934 American Austin. You know, who knows? There might have been 5,000 of them made or something weird like that. So you can't get parts for these anymore, and that's pretty much why I'm doing this, is because you can't get parts for them. And so we found some bushings that are close. And basically we're going to take the bushings that are close and machine them down until they fit. and that'll give us the dimensions. Of course, the interior is not going to fit, and then we've got to bore that out. But you have to pretty much do that with every time you put, even if you put, you know, standard bushings in, you have to ream them out to a certain size. And how we're going to ream them out, I'm not quite sure yet, because, you know, we've got a certain amount of tools, and not all of them. But we've got the 2 bushings out now, and we'll go ahead and we're going to turn the bushings that we've got down to fit this. So I'll be back. Okay, so, you know, in reality, this is totally seat of the pants flying, because I have no idea how this whole process works. But what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing is it's possible this thing was put together incorrectly in the first place. Well, maybe not originally, but maybe when it was rebuilt, you know, for the umpteenth time. Can you see that? You can't see that. You know what? We're going to come back and get a better view here. I mean, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm seeing, you know, there's got to be some weight on this front end. And I'm seeing that this could have possibly been the weak link in the whole thing, you know, one of many weak links. But, you know, we're going to rebuild it the way it is. And this probably goes this way. Can you see that? Yes, maybe. Not so much. Let's get over here a little bit better. Bring ourselves down right over the top of everything. That's better. Now, notice that, of course, when the vehicle sits on the ground, and this is coming up that way, so the vehicle will be sitting on this edge right here and rotating on this edge. This is pretty much free floating. I'm thinking, and the way they had this was they just had 2 little bushings right in here, and this was hitting whatever it was hitting. I don't understand. I mean, maybe just a simple washer. Now, if you look down in here, you can see this washer surface is just pretty well worn out. So, you know, maybe they just continued to add washers to it to see what's going on. But the new bushing is very interesting because it has a shoulder on it, which is going to take up some of that space and give us a little bit better connection. So I think I'm going to leave that shoulder in place, and then maybe we'll just put a small shim washer in there to take up the space, so that this sleeve rotates on brass, which is going to make it a lot smoother action and a lot less wear. I mean, of course, it'll wear on the brass, but by the time it wears out, that'll, you know, be pretty well. The front end will be worn out again. You know, who knows how many times this thing was rebuilt, but this time it's getting rebuilt well, hopefully. Okay, so we're going to turn this surface down until we get it so that it will fit inside of, let's see if we can get this over here so you can see it, inside of this hole, which is, looks like we've got about 30 thousandths to turn off of that. So let's go over to the lathe, let's do some turning. Okay, so we've just put a piece of scrap rod in here, and we're going to turn it and bring it into the size of the bushing so that I can slide the bushing on nice and snug and turn the outside edge turn the entire outside edge without having to chuck it up and mess around. So let's go ahead and turn it first. Oops, I think we're going to need some autopilot here. Okay, we found ourselves a little bit softer material. I think this is 8620, but you know, it doesn't matter. I just don't happen to have any cold roll of this size. Yeah, that'll work. Let's kick it in gear and see how it fares. Now we're just going to run the length of the bushing. No point going any further than that. In fact, not even that far, but I'll go that far just to do it. We're going to go in just a little bit further. And we cut too much. Ha! All right. So we don't have a whole lot of spare room on this. We can just do it over again on the other side. So let's come back to about 85.